speedy mirror matchup to kick things off here on day 3 of the round of 32, with first advancing into the winners match. Now we're going to have a TvT, if PvP wasn't your flavor, between MMA and YoDa.
Yeah, this is... oh, God, pull my headset off then almost. This is the series that I'm actually really looking forward to. And not so much this series, but the mix of the 2 GM players living here in Germany and MMA. Because for me, I'm looking at this group, and I just can see it. MMA is going to be headhunted today. He's going to be picked on by the 2 players here living in Germany, of course, First and YoDa. They're going to be practicing because what they'll say is, Showtime's weaker. As long as we don't get surprised, we should beat him. Yeah. Let's focus our efforts on destroying MMA, and together as a team, make sure that we go through together and kick him out. So this is where it really is going to become interesting. What is YoDa going to do against MMA? Because YoDa's on fire recently with his performances. MMA not as much, but MMA has historically made his big comeback in his career through WCS. Last year, he rose up to the top. He took a championship here in WCS. He got to BlizzCon because of WCS once again. Now he needs to bring that former power back, otherwise he could be eliminated in the round 32 today. All
right, let's get into it. Second series of the day then for WCS Group C here in Europe, as we have spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner. It's our Red Terran. It's YoDa. And up to the top right, as mentioned before, the only team player here in Group C, it's Acer MMA.
Acer MMA. All right, so MMA is currently in Germany. If you did not know, he's in Munich right now in the Acer team house, playing his games today, as he does not want to play from Korea. Obviously, that just completely endangers his chances of moving through. And all of you watching, I know there is a lot of MMA fans. I mean, undoubtedly a lot of MMA fans. He wants one goal every single year. BlizzCon, BlizzCon. Every BlizzCon. That's all he talks about. Right now, he's outside the top 16. Currently comes in at rank 18-ish, 18, 19. And needs a performance here. More so than ever before. He's in the exact same boat that Snoot was in the other day. Perform well this season, you're more than likely going to BlizzCon. You mess up, you're actually going to be in danger, which Snoot is now in, and now needs to perform well at Red Bull, now needs to perform well at IEM, now needs to perform well at XY tournament. MMA needs to get out this group today, and there are definitely people in his way.
Yeah, he does. And he's certainly seizing the initiative early on in this, I feel, with the gas first opening here from MMA. We were talking about it in our previous TvT during this season and how common it has become. But YoDa is foregoing that. He's going a bit more for the barracks power early on, adding on his gas a little bit later.
I think this is a really good style from MMA to open up the day with the initiative, if you say, with gas first, because he's like, yeah, I'm fighting back against you guys who are going to bully me out of this group today. Yeah. And it's a really solid way to play this. And if he executes this well and gets damage done, it's a massive statement to his group, and hopefully he can work on that kind of confidence throughout the rest of it. But YoDa goes in. He's no fool. He sees this. He knows this is gas first. He knows the aggression's going to be barreling towards him shortly. MMA, what info does he get? Nothing. And this is a little bit unfortunate for MMA, as he doesn't really know what he's going up against. This could technically be a 1 barracks command center. Technically, because you don't know about the gas or not.
With the how fast the Marine's out there, though, because MMA's Marine wasn't out that fast, couldn't you assume that it was the barracks before gas?
Yeah, he knows it's barracks before gas, but he doesn't know if it's gasless or gas.
Right.
It could be technically 1 barracks.
Yeah, he could have just completely gone again. Yeah.
Isn't common, and it's something that MMA is probably not even considering to be the case. But that's just explaining the range of builds that YoDa's playing under. Yeah. Could be 1 barracks command center, could be 16 gas to a super late gas. It could be that it's straight away gas. There's a reactor after a single Marine. So there's a wide range of builds, which means that MMA cannot pinpoint what his opponent's up to, but has to be aggressive no matter what.
Yeah.
And, he may be, as we can see, going to run into a wall here if the defense is set up properly from YoDa.
Yeah, he's already got a few Marines in place, adding on tons more Marines as well with that reactor out nice and fast. But here we go. Here's a switch up from MMA now, switching the starport onto the tech lab.
Banshee, please.
Yes.
If he goes Raven, I'll be like, okay, it's a different way to play it.
Yeah.
You're going to be more on the defensive foot and look for an aggressive timing a little bit later on with the Raven energy. But you're MMA. You've got some of the best micro in the world, in the business. Your Banshees have won your games in the past, so you know, rely on them today.
And there's already the old switcheroo over here for YoDa as well to get into Hellions.
Yeah. And YoDa's on 1 gas, so he's going to be playing Hellion, Viking, and he may start to get an engineering bay down quite soon here because he knows it's gas first, which obviously if you're playing against gas first, the likelihood of a Banshee is incredibly high here. He may or may not scan to confirm it because it could be a Raven, technically. It could be tanks. And if you build in an engineering bay and turrets, then that's not helping you against a tank push or a Raven push.
So 2 Hellions straight into Widow Mine production from there on out here for YoDa. We're looking for some space control or
there
even...
Yeah.
Did he drop the scan?
Yeah, and he sees Banshee. So he knows it's Banshee, sees the command center, and when you see that command center, you're like, yes! Let's hope I don't take damage, because then I'm in the lead. But whether he takes damage or not is a different story. He needs to play this out well. Widow Mine's positioned well. Turret's in good position.
Yeah.
I think he's actually setting himself up to not take any damage.
And this is going to try and hide behind this refinery, one would think here by YoDa. It's a little bit out of position.
Oh, and a Viking too. So the Widow Mine, and then a couple of Viking hits, just 1 Viking wave, 2 missiles, and this is dead.
How fast is he going to pull back there from that, though?
And he's in vision range. Yeah, the turret. Well, sight range, should I say.
Yeah,
oh,
so
man.
Getting out.
This is 1 dead Banshee, I think.
Needs to drop a scan, but it can't go anywhere near the mineral line. That's the thing. So
yeah, he does not want to drop 1 scan to let it run away, which is why he's not scanning right now.
All right. Well, there's switch up as well here. Widow Mine's trying to get into position once again.
Oh, okay. So don't let this Banshee get away.
Okay, he's trying to force it out. Where was the second Widow Mine? It's right at the back here.
Oh.
That's a little bit of a shame for... Oh, it flew back in.
Yeah. Okay, so dealt with. Now, Kalaris, the good thing here for YoDa, yes, he built 3 turrets. Yes, he built Widow Mines, which does take away from his overall lead here. But the SCV count's going to start to drift in his favor. There's a second orbital already down on landing mules for much longer than MMA, who doesn't even have an orbital command on that natural yet.
He's already got 1 siege tank out as MMA, so there is always the possibility for a push, but it's at the same time, like...
He'd need to push with, like... You can go with 2 Vikings, but it's better if you have, like, 4.
Yeah.
Pushing out as this now, you're going to walk into Widow Mines, you're going to walk into a lot of Hellions. It's not going to be as efficient as you'd hope to get, really.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to wait for that second siege tank through the middle and then...
Oh, look at this counter cloak, too, by the way.
Oh, that's very nice. It's just a slight delay on it.
He's going to rely on Hellions and Mines and Marines and just a bunch of minerals, as they are just mineral units here, to defend against a push at all. But then using his gas and Tech Lab, most importantly, to go for the counter cloak. There's no turrets. There's hardly any energy and the Ravens on the other side of the map.
He just hasn't accounted for it. And the weird thing is especially since he saw the Tech Lab on the starport as well when he was there with his original Banshee, you got to be very, very careful here as MMA with the
scans,
information.
He knows he's got to get back. He knows the Banshee's imminent. He's seen it.
Yeah. So he's already lost a few workers. Just 2 here so far. 3 as well. And that already for YoDa is a great, great start to this game.
And YoDa's going to be playing mech against the bio here of MMA. As you can see, the barracks already in. He's going to switch over after this Raven to get more tanks on the way. And this is a great start for YoDa. He's now really pushing his income lead up.
Yeah, it's 42 workers against 30. The Banshee dies, but 9 workers been killed off. It served its purpose. It really gave him that little edge. And now, just capitalizing on that, 3rd command center is going to go down. There's really not a huge amount MMA can do at this point in terms of aggression.
He's behind Kalaris in this game. And as much as he wanted to maybe grab the momentum with this gas burst opener, it's not the case.
Look at YoDa fanning out everywhere with these Marines as well. Getting a good eye on what's going on in the middle of the map. Any angle that he would be hit from.
Drops. He's looking at here. He's playing against Bio. And that's the one thing. I mean, in a head-up engagement, you win. Because you've got a lot of Hellions. You're going to start Blue Flame very shortly. I would imagine he starts Blue Flame. And he's going to have tanks. And he's just going to win straight up. But if MMA gets his drops on the go, that's where he's going to take damage. So great Marine spread of units he won't use here. And even the barracks to the top left too.
Yeah, good spotting out overall. Really good spotting. So for now, MMA is still kind of a little bit wary at the back of his base, making sure his Raven's in place to deal with anything, but it's just not coming at this point. That second Banshee technically is there for YoDa, but he's happy to retain it back at home whilst just building up the factory count.
God, I'm getting a little bit excited for the way that YoDa's playing here and the way that he has been playing in recent times as well. It's a great start from him. Very solid. And I love mech too, so.
I think MMA just shot his own medevac there with a Viking, but That'll refine itself in a second, as you know he's moving into the middle with this drop play, but he's going to get spotted on multiple angles if he's not careful.
As any mech player will say to you, at this point you're feeling amazing, but you know that you mustn't take, excuse me, carbonated water. I'm in Germany. You mustn't take damage. You mustn't take damage, and you must not let a drop slip through, because that's when the game changes.
And this one of mine has done well for itself in the middle of the map. Got a few kills so far. Hasn't been cleaned up. Even Marauder pushing away those Hellions there as well. But you're right. I mean, YoDa's gaining so much momentum behind this army, and MMA has no answer to it. What is he going to do? Because right now, if he's not careful, unless he doesn't take a good engagement when it happens...
Look at the way that MMA is playing. There's no third command center. It's 5 barracks. He's just flooding units here. So he is going to look to capitalize on that kind of style. But despite having 5 barracks and no third command center, he's down in units.
Yeah.
Because of the way the game's played out with his gas first not working, falling behind in SCVs, he's down in units, down in production with the 4th and 5th factory on the way. It's not what he's hoping to do. He's got a lot of units, but he's not breaking anything here.
And that's the beauty of how YoDa's played. He clinched that advantage early on and then took great precautions with his original Marines that he wouldn't need anyway during these engagements to spot out everything. Now, MMA is pushing into a location that's going to be very difficult. That's a good Hunter-Seeker, though, there to try and bring down a little bit of that tank. There we go. He dies off. But he's still got to be careful as MMA. This army is pretty fierce, and he's loading up Hellbats. He knows that he could just drop them straight on those tanks and do a lot of damage.
Absolutely. Surprised there's no blue flame, actually. But he's completely gas starved with the way that he's producing units so consistently here. Now, YoDa has got a lot of Hellbats, and let me tell you, at this level of the game, Hellbats don't die very fast.
MMA is running away. He knows what's in store for him if he keeps hanging around there for too long.
He's not even sieged up.
Oh, wait. Oh, no,
he's not even sieged up.
Oh, okay. This pursuit is going to happen. Hellbats get dropped across this entire army. That's a lot of splash damage, regardless of how you look at it. YoDa is just going to absolutely waltz through this army. And
YoDa's crushing MMA.
That's not a good start here for our bio player against the mech.
Getting absolutely crushed. Turret rings inside the main base. Not going to really get dropped there. Or at this point, you don't get over-eager as YoDa. Don't get over-eager. Just sit back, build up that army, chill out. If you get over-eager, you're gonna play a dirty game, which is full of counterattacks. It's full of base trade. You don't want to play that.
No.
He sees the 3rd command center and how late it is. Chill. Relax.
Yeah, he's completely fine.
Eat a Kit Kat.
Eat a Kit Kat, man. I haven't eaten a Kit Kat for ages. Oh my god, I need to after that. But this is just such a well set up defense here from YoDa. I mean, there's no way that MMA is really going to find a hole.
I'm actually getting so excited at this play from YoDa. Very, very, very good.
Yeah.
+2 attack is missing. Blue flame is missing. Crucial upgrades. But apart from that, everything else has just been so good.
He sees the army movement outside his base. He knows, well, go on, try and drop me or something like that. But he also saw there's no medevacs with the army. So he's probably thinking either they're elsewhere, or the second option, there's actually none until these two actually join, which is brutal here for MMA.
It is. This is a difficult position. And what we're going to see from YoDa is the chillaxing, the remaxing style. He's just going to go up to 200 supply. And when he's at 200 supply, he'll balance the units that he needs to defend against counterattacks and just go. He can't be stopped at that point, I would imagine. It's going to be very difficult for MMA to crawl his way back into this, but MMA is capable of comebacks, and he's done it in the past before. How is he going to address the issue present, which is that this guy's got a massive army. He's going to have a lot of units to defend against counterattacks. How does MMA find a way to win this game?
He's actually spotted both of these drops. One on the left-hand side with this Marine. These two Vikings actually shut down that one. So that's a good start for MMA to really get himself back into this. And he has units prepared on this left-hand side as well. So not taking any damage to that will be certainly quite the feather in his cap as this game goes on.
Yeah, great turret. Finished. All right. Is he at 200 supply? Yes, he is. Now it's time to go. Here we go. YoDa's going to move out.
And we already see the transition.
How does MMA do this then? 2-2 upgrades will complete in 20 seconds for MMA, 15 seconds for MMA.
Very useful, but this army is super strong right now. He has to be careful. And again, YoDa is preparing the transition from here on with his 3 starports. They're going to be littering the field in just a bit.
Yeah, this is in case MMA tries any fancy battlecruiser play. He can just get the Vikings out and you know, pad his army instantly.
Fours are in here. Just two to...
YoDa might be waiting for his +2 here. Sad that he didn't get that started earlier.
Yeah, that could have been timed out a little bit better for him, but now, whoop, doesn't want to be taking too many engagements on this angle. He actually boosts forwards with some of these Hellbats. Is he going to drop them?
Yes, he is.
All right, okay, so the Sensor Tower out here as well for MMA, trying to keep an eye on things. But
look at that. YoDa's completely cut off the right-hand side of the base, the map, sorry, down by his third. Planetary, 6 tanks.
Yeah.
You're not going to break that very easily.
No.
And then he's taken the full front of his army to the left. And he's going to be marching up and down this side of the map for the rest of the game with his army.
Yeah, he's happy to take it out longer as well, because as this game shapes up, he's already adding on multiple Ravens himself to go into the next phase of this plan.
MMA's going to drop these tanks. I think so. I think he made a mistake by coming back. He should be dropping those tanks, I think. That's his plan.
You mean over at the third?
Yeah. That's what he's going to do. He's going to drop it, and then he's going to try and stim and kill the Planetary, I think. Despite this being set up defensively, MMA wants to try to bring it down. A scan from first sees that MMA's intentions are on the right-hand side here.
Yeah, spotted it in the middle.
MMA's really stepped it up now. You notice how, third base fully saturated, fourth base down.
I mean, he kind of had to, otherwise he would just be running completely on dry against this kind of play from YoDa. And he realizes that if he was threatening in the middle of the map, YoDa was always waiting to kind of greet him. Where is he going to go? What is he going to do? But behind that, MMA was, well, we know what he was doing. He was taking bases.
Yeah, and the Ravens have been increased quite a lot here by YoDa. He's going to have a lot of point defense drones, a lot of Hunter-Seeker missiles.
Left-hand side, that's a big, big drop. But there's so many missile turrets there.
I think he can boost past that left-hand side. He might lose 1 or 2, but he's going to get inside that main.
Big move. He's trying to do some damage at that fourth mineral line, but this is a big drop. A lot of siege tanks in there as well. Trying to do some damage to this mineral line as well as the infrastructure. And when everything gets drawn back here, he might even hit the third base over on the right.
Kills off 2 Medivacs full of Hellbats.
It's a good start here for MMA. Really, really good.
Found a weakness here.
Nicely done. There's a Hunter-Seeker trying to kill off a little bit of all this. He's actually going to hit the third base as well. That Planetary Fortress trying to fall, but there's just too much defense there with the siege tanks.
I can't believe that MMA found a hole.
Yeah. If there'd have been a few moments on this very left, then it would have been fine. But that was some good damage he did. Really good damage.
And at this point, obviously, as a bio player, you are looking to trade to wear the mech down to then remax faster. Think about it as mech player versus a Zerg player, where they're looking to wear it down to rebuild faster, build more, and keep going, keep hammering, keep expanding, keep hammering. That's the kind of style that MMA needs to play here. And that was decent. That was decent from him.
And to be fair, I think his fourth base for a big window of that was quite vulnerable. The MMA didn't quite jump on top of. There was a few siege tanks there, 2 of which aren't even sieged up.
Maybe that's where he should have tried to go with his army on the right instead of the lower Planetary.
Yeah, but for now, this game continues on. YoDa is just setting himself up, attempting to set up impenetrable walls. One thing's for sure, he's going to try and bunker down at that back a bit more, adding on extra missile turrets now, just to make sure that that doesn't happen again. Cool game so far. Cool game.
Good game. MMA at 3-3 shortly. Just going to help out. Lots of production, lots of economy, lots of money.
I think I'm personally excited about the resurgence of TvT. We're actually seeing a whole lot more of it now than we ever used to. Terrans have kind of got to grips with things. He's actually going to go with this. Moves forwards with his siege line a little bit. He's wasting a bit of time for doing this, but at the same time, dealing a lot of damage with his tank line, because he has just so many tanks. But he traded a lot away for the bio, so even Stevens in terms of that.
And MMA holds the line as YoDa tries to break out here, because this, as I mentioned, is his pathway to getting big damage done is up this left flank. He's cut off his right-hand side. It's all down here. But MMA holds it still, keeps his tank line deep, and is going to replenish with bio here. And YoDa is starting to run out of resources. He needs to push and break through this. He's run out in his main. The natural's not far away. But MMA, great position here. Great strategical game coming out from MMA for the mid part of this game coming into the second half.
Yeah, I think MMA is doing pretty darn good in terms of his upgrades as well. 3-3 on the bio. He's got on +2 weapons for his siege tanks. Whilst YoDa, he's on 3-0 on his mech. Doesn't quite have any armor upgrades just yet, adding those on now. But as the meching player, I was expecting that a little bit faster.
All right, well, MMA controlling this one now. He's pinned his opponent back. He scans and sees there's only 2 tanks now, not 6 that were at that planetary. Oh, another breakthrough by YoDa.
All right. Actually doesn't want to walk straight towards it. Wastes a little bit of time again sieging up, but he does break a good chunk of that tank line at the front.
MMA's
but the bio...
break it.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Can't break out.
Wow. Really, really well played out by MMA there. Really
Very
well played.
Good. Very, very good game from MMA. Really good. I'm quite impressed.
I think for the first, like, 15... How long was the whole game in total? 15, let's say 15, 18 minutes of the game. YoDa was looking really cool as well.
On 3 bases, YoDa was the king. When he got to 200 supply, moved down to take his 4th. He put himself in a position by cutting his 3rd off to channel the left-hand side, put him in a position where, you know, on his side of things looks good. You take this, then you go up, but he lost the Xel'Naga tower there. And when MMA controls the Xel'Naga tower, all the units have to filter through an area which is, you know, bombarded by multiple tanks and a deep siege line by MMA. And MMA did very well to cut that point off and starved him from that position. I think that was a brilliant game from MMA. I think that YoDa started very well, very strong, but MMA just kind of blew me away a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, YoDa could have continued to run forwards with his advantage that he had at the beginning, but down to the sheer decision-making of MMA and finding that vulnerability at the back, wow. Being able to take that game was very, very impressive.
Absolutely, and TvT, the staple matchup of StarCraft, comes out again to save the day, to bring us some excellent matches here, and that was a brilliant one. And hopefully we'll see another one coming into this. It's going to be merry-go-round here, which I feel is definitely more difficult to play a mech style on if YoDa's going to try it here. With the 3rd base very exposed, you can get dropped in inside the main base. There's a lot of airspace for drops to be used. So we'll see. And then the 4th base becomes a struggle on where to take it, how to fortify it. We may see, you know, bio play come out from him. I wonder if... you think that YoDa can play gasless, or you think he'll just do something similar like he did there? Because I think he had a very good start.
Yeah, I think he had a good start as well. I don't know why I'm thinking this, but I'm thinking he may go gas first himself. I don't know what's really pushing me down that avenue. Just kind of instinct more so than not. But I'd be interested if he did play mech again on this map. I think, you know, around that 3rd, you know, trying to fortify every single area as the meching player can be very, very difficult.
Right.
So
it can be.
Yeah. All right, we're going to get into this in just a second. Countdown is already finished as these two load up. MMA currently leads 1-0. He's on track to take on first in the winner's match, but can YoDa tie it up? We'll find out now. Let's jump into game number 2. As we have, spawning up to the top left-hand corner, our red Terran. It is YoDa. And up to the top right, representing Acer, it's MMA.
MMA. What a champion. What a champion. We'll see if he can still be that champion, which is the most important part here. Very, very important for him this season, more so than ever before in WCS. He points are everything.
Yeah, he's 19th at the moment.
Yep.
Which, for a guy like MMA, because he is so, I would even go as far as to say as obsessed with BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Not going there, I think he's been there the last 2 years at least, right?
Right.
So that would be disastrous for a guy like MMA.
I mean, he's got 100 points in the bag right now for just being or playing in the round of 32.
Here, yeah.
Advancing to the top 16 would give him another 100 points, which would push him 18th, only 1 slot higher. So it's a lot more than just advancing rounds. But, you know, the deeper you go, if you go another round, that's an extra 300 points, which would see him, if he got top 8, in the top 16 once again in the ranking. So it is important for him to push for a very solid season. And remember, he's a champion of the WCS. He was a finalist from this year, a champion of last year. But he definitely had a difficult run in Season 2, unfortunately, for MMA. He ran into a bit of a wall where he got knocked out in the round of 32, if you remember. He lost against LiveZerg. LiveZerg messed that group up. And then 4GG was the Terran Hope that moved on from that group over MMA, as they had a fantastic TvT last season in the round of 32.
Yeah, they did. That was a crazy group as well. But these things kind of seem to just happen all the time in WCS Europe. As we get into this game, and both players have opened up identically. Just a little bit of a delay there on MMA's barracks, but very, very minor indeed. As we have the gas first openings, so my gut feeling was okay. It was all right.
And luckily here for MMA, Golden Boy, as we like to call him here in WCS, is going to go in and spot this as gas first compared to his opponent who isn't. As the SCV goes in, it's like, whoa, factory! I know what I'm playing against. So MMA has the choice here to go Raven. He doesn't know exactly if it's going to be Banshee or not, because it could be just for a fast elevator play with Widowmine or Hellion Marines.
Oh, cool. Look at this kind of delayed Reaper coming out here from MMA.
Yeah, and I think he wants to know exactly what he's playing against.
Yeah.
Like, precisely what he's playing against.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. It'll give him a very, very strong read. Of course, things are a little bit delayed from him off the back of that. Doesn't have that 100 gas just yet himself, but...
Yeah, I think it gives him a lot of info, because by the time the Reaper spots, he can choose to go Raven or Banshee at that point.
Yeah.
Or even tanks. I mean, depends on what he sees.
And if YoDa was being a little bit sneaky with an SCV, it does make it a little bit more difficult.
He's got a Marine and SCV with this, as you say, but there's 3 Marines on a ramp, which I don't think... I mean, it's going to be fine, and there's a Hellion out too, so if he's planning to get all 3 of these together to do something, this definitely needs to be like a Reaper Scout.
Yeah.
Well, he's actually bringing a Hellion of his own now.
Oh, is he? This is the weirdest little composition ever.
Yeah.
All right, 1 of every unit, let's go. I'm not sure this is going to do a huge amount.
First doesn't even know. I mean, not the first. So YoDa doesn't even know where MMA is.
Yeah, so
that Hellion was meant to be quite useful. Now MMA's in good position because that Hellion's so far away.
This is very weird. And as we have that, there's well, actually they get a lot of damage to those SCVs on top of that Hellion, but he's killed off the ranged units.
The Hellion's going to come back like a hero here.
Yeah, he's
and he needs to.
Oh, he got the Reaper. Well, that was interesting. It's not too often you see that, Sean.
Yeah, and he also got the scout of the Banshee too, so...
Yeah, that's good. That's a good...
And MMA is going to go Raven. He's got Viking, then Raven, should be here. So good scouting info. Still, not first, I keep calling him first, I don't know why. YoDa has no idea where MMA is still.
He actually didn't get time to check up into the main at the bottom, so had to go all the way down again.
Viking's out too. Raven's on its way.
This Banshee is taking an interesting route to the point where MMA is going to get juked because that Viking is chilling out in the middle. He has to realize soon, he brings it back, that the Banshee has to be somewhere else.
Yeah, well, Banshee's going to swing around here. The Raven's not ready yet. Could get some kills. Oh, nice catch on the Hellion. Brilliant catch.
Oh, did he get it up front? Nice.
All right, Raven's out. Banshee's coming in. MMA's actually... moving into position here, very smartly of him, to the back.
There's a Raven on the way here for YoDa as well, and does get at least 1 or 2 kills during this. I think a few more may end up dying, but that Raven now being out and about, Banshee's going to have a sorry time. He knows he's got to just stick around and get a few kills.
5 kills, that was actually really good, though.
Yep.
And... very close. SCV count is in favor of YoDa. Yeah, it's close. YoDa, I'd say, slight advantage here. Despite having a slightly slower command center, it's actually in position. And he didn't lose 5 SCVs like MMA just did, so. And they're building tanks same time, Viking, Marines.
Yeah.
I wonder if we are going to see Bio. It looks like it from YoDa. He's building Marines 2 at a time here, so it should be Bio. Yeah, there's his barracks coming in.
Yeah, MMA adding on as well. Also, even the engineering bay going down pretty darn rapidly here from MMA.
Yeah, that's really awkwardly timed. Is it for a turret here? Because he can't defend 2 locations? Is he expecting another Banshee? Because he's not going to get +1 attack. He needs to get stim first before he does that.
Yeah, his gas is just really not working out for him right now. And if he does get turrets, I mean, this Raven is there serving the purpose to a certain degree already. So maybe he gets turrets and then moves out or something. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. But... there's a turret on the way in the main. He hasn't landed his natural yet, and he is falling quite behind in that regard, considering now the transfer has happened over to the natural for YoDa.
Yep, and faster gas too.
Yeah. Okay, go, go, go. Interesting little play out of MMA here, with that engineering bay being as it is. But they have an engineering bay now on the way here for YoDa as well, who's, in terms of his gas...
big drop selected here by MMA. Raven at the back. Going to be followed here by drops. It's going to be 2 turret support to 16 Marines, and a scan from YoDa. Doesn't really see too much here, but he's in position with his units, and MMA scans and sees it. There's a Widow Mine down there too. Just got to be careful about.
Yep. Doesn't want to be flying too close to that.
As the army goes back, MMA's got a chance to go in here.
Ooh. He decided to drop off as well. There was a slight bit of vision there for YoDa with that Widow Mine to see it.
Yeah, now MMA knows that too.
Yeah. So YoDa's playing well with the vision that he has, considering it was only that one Widow Mine. Of course, now it is denied, so he's going to have to be extra cautious about dealing with MMA in the middle.
Very smart play from YoDa. Army in the middle of both areas. Marine out the front to give him heads up to get his army back in position. He doesn't know where this attack is going to come from.
Yep. And he now sees it at the front.
Very smart. And now his units should go back. And MMA's not going to get anything from this, unfortunately, for him.
And then there was that Marine in the middle as well that he is using to spot to see if the retreat happens. So YoDa's just on top of things.
MMA going up to 5 barracks now, Claris.
Oh, wow, okay. Sees it in the middle.
What's YoDa going to do? 3rd command center, 4th or 5th barracks?
YoDa's moving. Where are you going, YoDa? There's going to be a Marine actually spotting this as well, though.
He has to be very careful with this because he doesn't know where MMA stim is. And he doesn't have stim of his own. I mean, tanks are great at this point, obviously, because no combat shields. But if he gets caught out here against an opponent with stim,
yeah, that's
going to back off.
Going to be very, very lethal, you're right.
4th and 5th barracks also for YoDa. So both of them going up to 5.
All right, here comes the bio. With tanks, of course, being incorporated in as well. The wall, the layout in the base for YoDa is causing a problem where the siege tanks are popping out on the wrong side. So it's taking them a while to get to reinforcement points.
Awkward standoff.
I don't think he can do much here.
Nope, neither of them can.
No.
Not against siege tanks without combat shields. They'll both just die.
Yeah. Very, very difficult to really break any locations here. Drops the scan, sees these siege tanks positioned. He's slowly moving forwards and does have air dominance, technically, without the positioning of those Marines.
Doesn't even use his Raven there. Almost gets it picked off. One Hunter-Seeker Missile brings down that tank.
Has to be very, very careful about how he does this. He has a siege tank on the high ground, though, too. And there is no Banshee in this army of YoDa's, so he can't really start tickling away at siege tanks on the very edges of fights. Repairing his Raven now as MMA as well. Very important during this, actually. But YoDa's being quite bold about his positioning here. Oh!
All right, fair enough. Stim and get that.
That just happened.
Yeah, YoDa's got to be careful.
Yeah. He's quite far out,
well,
that's for sure.
Medivacs is going to come help. He's got a very good position on the ramp.
He
actually controls the ramp. So MMA's forces are stuck outside here. And if he continues to hold the ramp, then he's going to be able to break this down maybe. But at the same time, he also has got to be careful not getting pincered himself.
Yeah, he's going to slowly
shuffle up. Super bold move from YoDa. There's 2 tanks there.
Yeah, it's very, very ballsy. You're right.
But I think MMA's forces down south could get killed in a second. Yeah. Combat shields a few seconds away. If he stims, picks off these 3 tanks.
He's very isolated.
He's going to move first.
Oh, this is a brilliant play here by YoDa if he can get those tanks down on the low ground. And he indeed does. They did unsiege, so he actually kills off quite a lot of those. The siege tanks to the north actually died off for the most part here for YoDa, but at the same time, his siege tanks on the low ground just below the ramp have held the line. What a great separation move there to kill off the tanks on the low ground.
Yeah, good play from YoDa. MMA got caught out there in the middle.
And look at the reinforcements coming from YoDa as well. Wow, he's playing out this second game brilliantly.
Yeah, flooding the units over here off these 5 barracks, and MMA needs to defend. Has to defend, but I think he might lose this natural in a minute. There's 5 tanks.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was a little bit scared for YoDa.
Okay, dropping is just suicide here.
Yeah, that was quite bold itself, and he's actually just going to push up. Yeah, there's not a whole lot MMA can do from that point on. And YoDa, game number 2, playing fantastically. And I doubted a little bit of that positioning that he had just below that ramp, but
that's what a TvT looks like this, Claris. That's what a TvT looks like.
It's that thing from the Minority Report where he's just moving everything around with his hands. That was cool.
Or it looks like Ender's Game when he's on the screens like this. Yeah. That's the TvT.
And then YoDa realizes it was actually real life, and he's like, "No,
I killed MMA."
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, that was. I love TvT a lot, so that was really awesome.
That was.
Do you know what's really funny? This happened last time at Red Bull event. You know they have on the client of StarCraft 2. When you actually load StarCraft 2, there's the advertisement for a big event that's happening like Red Bull.
And you can click the button in the middle.
And I look at it and I'm like, this looks awfully familiar to MLG.
Oh, is it exactly the same one?
No, this is actually a Red Bull one.
Oh, okay.
The last one was an MLG one. I was like, oh, it's awfully familiar.
It's like somebody's slacking, man. Somebody's slacking.
Looks just like MLG. This one's actually a Red Bull one. All right, so game 3, Catalina as this one. So these actually, the spawning positions matter a lot now. Because of the way the map is, if you go to the bottom right, I brought this up the other day, the drop capability is just, it's insane.
Yeah.
Because there's so much space. And both of these players are very capable of exploiting that space. If it's YoDa going to be playing mech, then he's going to die to MMA's drops if he's down there, and vice versa. So depending on where they spawn is actually kind of important here because you want to avoid the bottom right.
Yeah.
If you get a little bit unlucky, you are going to have to play with this airspace, which can be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah. It's even really annoying like when Banshees are about as well, because I mean, just hiding around in that area is really, really irritating. But anyway, the countdowns began, guys, for game number 3. MMA and YoDa tied up 1 apiece. Both of them bringing out really, really excellent moves during those first 2 games. A real treat to watch. Very good TvT players play this match out. So we're getting loaded up.
It's going to be the last game now. Who's going to the winners? Who's going to the lower brackets?
Let's find out. Let's jump in. Game number 3. As we have spawning on the left-hand side. People are getting lucky on this map so far.
Yeah.
It is our red Terran. It is YoDa. And up to the top right, we have our blue Terran. It is MMA. MMA. Yeah. Okay, I'll leave that for now. I do like the octopus. I do like him. More maps should have something like that. It really kind of makes this map stand out.
Do you know what I would love to see as the octopus?
What?
Is 2 things. 1, imagine if they took a leg away, but then moved the legs around so it was 7.
Well, technically it already looks like there is only 7 because one of them's around the back.
I know, right? But imagine if there were 7. You're like, wait a minute, there's only 7 legs. And the other thing is imagine photoshopping Casper the Friendly Ghost face on the top of it.
That would be really...
Imagine that.
Please, someone out there. Right, you can even take a screenshot right now. I'll move my cursor away.
Casper the Friendly Ghost face there, and you got to perfectly fit it in because it looks like it fits perfectly.
It does. You're right. That's a weird image. I've just ruined my childhood experiences with.
Sorry.
Casper as an octopus.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Do other animals have ghosts?
Huh?
Somebody asked this question on Reddit a few days ago.
Look how well it fits.
Yeah, it does. You pulled it up and everything. Thanks, Sean. But somebody asked this question on Reddit a few days ago. It's like, why do people only see human ghosts when they see them? Why not dinosaur ghosts and stuff like that? Kind of doesn't really work out,
Do you believe in ghosts?
No.
Okay.
But I believe in aliens.
Oh, okay.
Because by maths and the fact that the universe is infinite, it has to be
other people.
Yeah,
or
surely.
Creatures, whatever.
Unless we're in the Matrix and this is all not real.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
What happens if our life... Oh, God. I already started this joke without thinking it properly through.
Okay, keep going. It's fine.
What's the film with Bruce Almighty when he...
Evan Almighty?
No, when his life is a TV show.
Oh, Truman Show.
Right. Imagine if our life was the Truman Show. You know, you're actually pretending to like me, and I am Truman. You're an actor.
Producer is rumbled us. Can you please bring down the stream?
Bring down the stream. He's figured it out. I'm going to go to the Rhine and get my canoe, and it's not real.
You just bump into a wall. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty brilliant.
Gas first by both, by the way. Very similar openings once again. And both of them will scout each other on gas first here, just by being on one base at this time of the game. MMA with actually a slightly higher, or a higher valued scout, as he actually sees the starport and tech lab here, compared to YoDa, who did not, but could have assumed.
Yeah.
And this is going to be an interesting one. Both Banshee?
Maybe.
Or is it a Raven?
See a Banshee YoDa. Well, he's saving up a lot.
Oh, no, okay.
He is going Banshee.
So this comes down to something that I always lose in, is being able to defend and attack at the same time.
Yeah, it's very, very tough. It really, really tests your micro and your multitasking, that's for sure. And
if you suck like me, then you lose your Banshee, and then you have to only defend. And then while he is attacking you without having to defend.
Yeah.
So it becomes a prime position for the aggressor.
Yeah, both things definitely don't work for me when I try this as well. It's it can be a bit difficult. So
Widow Mine's out now for both as well, or should at least be out for both.
Where are the Widow Mines placed, all importantly? Right, let me click on that again.
All right.
Okay, it's from the top right here. I really like Widow Mines behind refineries. I don't know about you, but I really, really like it. Just to be sneaky. But nobody's doing it just now.
So it's only one Banshee, so they're not gambling per se. Like if they both went double Banshee, that's when it becomes crazy. It's a single Banshee into Raven.
Oh, it relocates as the Banshee comes in, so that's a bit sad for it. But he's just defending his mineral line here.
MMA. First couple of bits of damage dealt in favor of MMA.
Very nicely done so far.
Doesn't want to mess up his control.
Banshee for YoDa is heading in the opposite direction to where MMA would be initially anticipating
MMA's getting damage done here, though. He's 2-3 kills.
And
a scan and gets away. He should get away with he's killed every Marine.
Oh, dear me.
But okay, so on the other side of things, what is YoDa doing?
1 worker, 2 workers. That technically evens that up a little bit, but... Wait.
Yeah, actually, 3-1.
Yeah, okay. Good.
The Marines were killed.
Auto-turret's been used. Gets the command center at one.
He's 4 SCVs ahead.
Pretty cool.
MMA.
Ooh. Okay, that went a bit high.
Dancing with the devil there with his Banshee so low. He can get this command center SCV maybe. 1 and 2. 4 hit points.
Okay, I was away from that. Sorry about that. But, yep. He gets away. Very well done. He kills. A lot of those being Marines.
Still 4 SCVs more killed, or 4 SCV difference, but YoDa's command center is much, much slower.
The Viking is really on the hunt, and second Banshee's going to be coming out and sneaking around.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a bit more gas committed there. As you see, tank production started earlier here for YoDa because he didn't dedicate to a second Banshee.
And lost a few Marines, so he's got to be thinking...
Oh, MMA second Banshee gets spotted down south.
Oh, did it? Oh.
By the other Banshee.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
So if he was focusing there, he should be able to realize.
All right, I'm not as focusing as much as I should be being the observer, so I'll focus up a bit more to spot all these things as we have that command center about to finish up for YoDa. That Banshee's going the long way around. Jeez.
Yeah. He's got to wait as well. He can't really rush in.
Yeah. Raven as well as Viking on the hunt down to the south, knowing that that Banshee was on the move. Very, very good anticipation there for him. 2 barracks. 3rd barracks going down for MMA, so Bio is the option for a sec. We have barracks extra for YoDa.
Slight lead here for MMA, despite being a little bit lower in the SCVs for all of this game.
That Banshee is going to be chilling up. Whoa, wait a minute. This is a siege tank loaded up here for YoDa. All right, then. All right, then, buddy.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to get much done here.
No. Well, this missile turret is ready and available for him, with the Viking as well. So it's very, very difficult for MMA to ever stick around there with that first Banshee.
God, we're going for tanks so early like this, YoDa, and this drop. He slowed his stim down so much. Second Banshee, by the way, in the base of YoDa.
Yeah, poking away.
A couple of kills.
Oh,
and another scan used. A couple of small things here starting to lead up.
Look at him with these 2 tanks and Marines moving out into the middle.
The thing is, his stim is done in 40 seconds. There's a lot of units around anyway. It's going to be hot. He's going to try and get towards the back here, but there's units from MMA.
Oh, bye-bye, Banshee.
Okay. Is he going to make this work? Turrets are there, 2 turrets are there too.
Yeah, he's actually just going to go straight in drop here. That one siege tank is doing a lot of damage at the back there for MMA whilst all this is occurring. And it does, a few good volleys there, bringing that down. The 2 siege tanks at the back for YoDa protected quite well, but MMA should have overwhelming numbers eventually.
Yeah, MMA can't wait for Stim. He has to go now, and he is.
Yeah.
He is going to deal up with this.
Also, turrets finishing the job.
A lot of SCVs were killed off there. A lot.
16 in total.
Yeah, good. And Banshee in the main.
Oh, wow. So he's down 10 workers at least as the transfer continued over there for a second.
Good move, very good move there by YoDa. Now he needs to buckle down and keep kind of tucked in nicely. because he just dealt a big blow to MMA, and I didn't think it would be as successful as that was.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for MMA, Stim was very close to finishing. If he had Stim there, then he defends that. And it was very, very close. But now he's down in supply. He's got a bigger army because we just saw the a lot of that army thrown away. Yeah.
Well, as things turn out in this TvT, it's been quite entertaining so far. I'm really, really wanting to get back into this as quickly as possible. There we go. Awesome. Because MMA now is repairing everything. He needs to have things pretty healthy against what we're seeing from YoDa, who is just powering ahead. I mean, he's got his 2 extra gases starting a little bit before MMA. MMA is moving out to the middle of the field, but I don't think he can really do a whole lot with that army there. This is more like throwing his muscle around, but he doesn't really have too much muscle. Ooh, is he looking to claim a 3rd base a little bit quicker, sieging up here, or is he expecting a movement out?
Sure yet. He should be, well, the army supply is not that different anymore. But Stim is a big difference between the two. Maybe a drop in the main could work here for MMA.
Yeah.
But, I mean, YoDa's moving around quite actively to not let that happen.
I mean, one thing about this map that's very, very important is that your main is huge, like really, really big. So if you want to go for drops there and somebody needs to take precautions against it, they need a ton of missile turrets. So this could go in MMA's favor eventually if he uses a similar style than game number 1.
And he's got combat shields as well. The
He's
problem is that YoDa's economy is so much better than MMA's has been, is that he's going to be able to build up a lot. Stim is 30 seconds. If YoDa has Stim here, just like MMA didn't have before, then he stims and kills this off.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
This is a very, very, very edgy move coming in.
Drop scan in the main, knows that this is a potential threat. MMA is not going to move just yet. Brings down 2 Marines to bring that off, and then there's a point defense drone.
He's not going to.
Harassment at the back.
Make this work.
No, not at all.
Oh, this is great Terran, Raven usage. The thing is with MMA, he's had an army lead, but now it's equal, and it's actually going to go heavily in favor of YoDa in a minute because of his 5 barracks. Oh, MMA!
Whoa, okay, he's going to go straight into these 2 siege tanks. 3 siege tanks at the bottom here for MMA to try and hold this off, but YoDa is so well fortified. Why would you push up there?
Crushed it. Crushed it, crushed it, crushed it. And still getting, you know, harassed by a Raven.
Is it still doing stuff? Oh, geez, another auto turret.
The thing is that MMA knew that he took so much damage from that drop to his natural and then the Banshee in his main. He had to do something. So he was feeling pressured. He wanted to get in there, and he tried his best, and he got shut down. And the correct way to play that was not to go in there and look for a different and a better opportunity somewhere else. But he also knew, like we said, is that the production is actually live and kicking coming out from YoDa now, because of his heightened economy.
Yeah.
And MMA's in a pickle.
Uh-oh. And then YoDa smells blood. YoDa is going to try and find a path in here with this huge drop. And he just spots it, but he's so far out of position with this army, he's got to be very, very careful. One of the medevacs is going to go down. Second one falls as well. He loses a lot there, but this is still a really annoying position for him to break.
Oh my god, he just, how can you do that as a Terran?
Oh my. All right, he's on top of the production now. MMA has got to bring himself out of this bind. There's 2 siege tanks here still doing some damage. MMA brought a lot down.
4 Marines or 5 Marines that YoDa has here. It's not a lot.
No, it's not. It's not a lot to kind of keep those 2 siege tanks ready and waiting in this fight. There's so many Marines for MMA.
Yeah, I think he's going to push this back.
But they're very, very clumped up. They do take some damage. He needs to pick up and get out of there, but them being sieged up, it doesn't really help.
Oh my
jeez. Oh, really, really balls to the wall play here.
My heart is pumping and pumping because these kind of moves that you make, picking up a medevac full of units and boosting over an army.
Yeah. He just knew he was seen at that point. He was like, well, YOLO, time to go.
Yeah. MMA's on 4 barracks, by the way, to his 5th's on the way. And he lost his starport there. So he has also, again, lost more of his production, which is the biggest point of this game. Production.
Here we go again.
Oh my god, not again. No, 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 no. What is this?
Oh,
what is this madness?
No, don't.
What is this? This doesn't, don't do that.
What are they doing? It's just, wow.
Gee, don't do that.
Meanwhile, in the natural,
2 Marines.
He's going to go
Oh my
again.
God.
He's going to go again.
Where's MMA? And this time I think he's going to land it. He's going to plant this one.
He's just kill it. Oh,
yeah,
no.
MMA let him plant, and this could be game.
Yeah. That's so much damage being done. Even if just a few CVs go down, he's already killed 33 this game. The command center's going to fall. How do you break this location? He's going to try anyway. Siege tanks laying waste to a lot of these Marines on both sides of things.
Yeah, he lost his main CC. Like, you can't lose the main CC. And, wow. I mean, even in the army supply, look, it's even though we just saw the tank slaughtered, 43 to 64.
Yeah.
Unbelievable here. Just complete two-base power play coming out from YoDa.
He's going to force the cancel of the third if he wants to as well.
Yeah.
Drops it out of range just a little bit.
Yeah, nice. Really good series between these guys.
Yeah. What a really nice start.
MMA's BlizzCon, we're seeing a Snoop here. It's getting challenged. It's getting challenged here.
Oh, good reaction times by MMA to push this away overall. But you're right, it is getting challenged. He's 19th right now in WCS rankings.
And he has to win the next 2 games in a row if he drops this one, which he's aiming towards at the moment. Well, not really aiming towards, but he's heading towards, should I say.
Yep.
Not really aim towards a lose, but he's heading that way.
MMA now trying to do some harassment with his own two Marines. He's also pushing through the middle. He realizes now he's taken so much damage, he has to make something happen.
Even a drop in the main of MMA now as well.
This medevac.
If MMA snipes this thirds, or, you know, mining base here, imagine that move, because YoDa's out of position.
And he has the siege tank count. He has the numbers.
Okay, good pickup by
Forces
YoDa.
this away.
Yeah, good pickup.
That's it, yeah. It's a nice start for MMA, though, to kind of make the recovery here. And he's even working on that command center. Don't think he should be able to get this. It's going to be... No, there's no way. Scouts forwards with one of those medevacs to make sure...
YoDa, be careful, man. There's tanks there.
Needs a little bit of
This is a position where MMA can actually siege up underneath the main, potentially.
And then ferry in.
Ferry in a little bit, play around with this position, but he's also stopped his opponent from mining. And remember, MMA kept his thirds.
Yep.
And MMA's making this work. He's definitely behind if they take an engagement together out in the open, but in the position that MMA's in, oh my God. Okay, look at the Marine count of YoDa.
He's going to go again.
I think MMA needs to get these tanks filtered. They need to filter into the Marines, or should I say the Marines filter into the tanks. In open space, everything that MMA has in those 4 medevacs gets slaughtered.
Well, they're going down to this left-hand side, and they're going to pose a threat right at the back of the mineral line. It's like, you do it to me, I'm going to do it to you. But there's not really a huge amount to hit there in comparison to the previous move by YoDa.
Yeah.
YoDa's army is way out of position to really greet that. Of course, he has quite a bit of fortification in his main with the amount of Marines that are there, but it's not as much. Oh, big drop from him. But, oh my God. Oh, okay. Oof, he already lost a medevac there. There's maybe 2 more very, very low, but...
MMA's 4 medevacs are getting chased as well.
Yeah, they're going to get pushed away. I think they're not even sieging up in time to be able to really deal with that.
Nice pick up with the starport there.
Oh, this game.
MMA holds that position with those 3 tanks.
Very, very good start for MMA in that main line, and also catching one of those medevacs there. And he catches even more! Oh, YoDa. What a
Who's got the supply
TvT.
advantage, Galaris?
MMA.
After all of this.
He's making wonders happen. What is this?
He gets 1 tank for all those Marines.
YoDa, you've let this slip, my friend. You've let this slip. And now MMA is unleashing the dogs of war.
How is MMA doing this? I mean, the last game we saw MMA from a difficult position, you know, slowly put it in his favor. And again here, by, you know, slicing into the right area, into the right artery of YoDa, I think he's found another way.
I think he could go for the kill.
That MMA's got now.
It's huge. It's huge. He has an extra tank. He has double the Marines. This is a killing blow if he just hits this right. Absolutely. All right, he's going to go for it. He has that siege tank on the high ground. Lots of Marines to overpower. GG.
My God.
Wow. MMA. What a TvT series. You don't have to say anything, man. It's okay. It's okay.
MMA, just unbelievable play. Absolutely unbelievable. In both of the games that were really weird. The first one in Overgrowth, and then this one where he's playing from a position where it's not easy to get back into. I mean, it's blown away. It's really, really impressive play from MMA. Twice today that he's just like blown me away with what he's done. And that was wonderful. Really, really good play from MMA.
Yeah. It's not like YoDa wasn't playing terribly, terribly out there. He was playing good StarCraft, but in the end, MMA just kind of wins out. Really cool series. Very good.
Unbelievable. And MMA's actually gone to the winners match here. And so you've seen one of the team partnership here of YoDa and First Fail, and now we're actually going to see MMA go up against the other one in First a little bit later on. But of course, before we do that, that means we're going to go to the low bracket game, which means YoDa has to play back-to-back here and go up against Showtime. You think Showtime can prevail? He's done it. He's had the magic in him before.
He has.
In his PvT.
He has, but this is YoDa, who was technically a protege of MVP all that time ago, but YoDa is still looking great here in the European scene.
But I remember one result that happened at DreamHack Summer was Showtime managed to beat MMA, so luckily they don't actually play there, or here, should I say.
Yeah.
So he's definitely he's beaten MVP in the past, he's beaten MMA, and he's beaten other top players. He can do it here again, I think.
Yeah, he could. He certainly has a chance. All right, guys, join us after the break when we're going to have 2 PvTs. Our first one going to be in the lower bracket here at WCS Europe Group C.